Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a comparison video now that Naruto, the manga, is over. Naruto versus Dragon Ball Z for, in my opinion, what is the greatest anime or manga of all time. Of all time! Alright, and yes, this kind of will contain spoilers for the series. I mean, this is intended for people that have pretty much seen both series all the way through. And really, this is a discussion about what I think is the greatest anime of all time. Now, for me, it comes down to these two because, yes, there are some others out there that have been great long-running anime over the years in manga. One Piece, Bleach, Berserk is really good for what it was. I mean, there's a lot of shorter animes that are really, really good. But in terms of like a long-running series, now I'm not too into Gundam and that kind of thing. So, but in terms of like a really long-running show, like one that goes over 100 episodes or 100 chapters of a manga, long-running, I think these two stand on their own. These two became worldwide phenomena, both of them, where people everywhere would read them. North America in English, of course, we check it out. You'll have people that read and watch from the UK, Brazil, who knows, Italy, wherever, all over the world. These are worldwide shows or manga. So between the two, which one would go down as the greatest of all time? Now that Naruto has hit its sort of final chapter, the issue 700, the initial story that Kishi set out to tell is over. It's complete. Yes, there's going to be a spinoff coming up, which will probably focus on his son and the younger generation as they're coming up. But we've basically seen, the bulk of the Naruto story now. We've reached the climax, it's over, and we've had a nice time skip, and now we know in the end where everything lies in terms of the story and what story Kishi was here to tell. And we've got basically, the finished product, so to speak. Not entirely, because there'll still be things, but even with Dragon Ball Z, all these years later, there's still new movies coming out, there's still video games every year, so it's kind of like these two properties will never entirely go away. But in terms of the bulk story, we're talking about, Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, the combination of both in the anime, not GT. No. Versus, Toriyama's stuff versus Kishi's stuff with Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, the Hurricane Chronicles. Which one's the best ever? So now, mainly for this one, I'm going to focus on comparing manga. And the reason being is because with regards to anime, we now have Dragon Ball Kai, and we've got some, really good cuts of DBZ or Dragon Ball where they've gone ahead and they've removed a lot of the filler, they've removed a lot of the slowdown points and a lot of the junk, so to speak. I think of it as time-wasting junk that they've taken out. With Naruto, they haven't done that yet. The series is not totally over in terms of the anime, even though it pretty much is. Who knows? Maybe they'll add on some stuff, and I'll be excited to see that. But right off the bat between the anime, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball is a way better adaptation, I would say, for its time of the initial manga, the initial story. The anime for Naruto, unless they clean it up later with a better version like Kai with Dragon Ball Z, it's a cluster F. It really is. I don't swear on camera. I try not to. It's a cluster F, man. It's brutal. When you go through the Naruto Shippuden and you look at the quality differences, you've got the episode, and I'll use this as for example because there's some nonsensical idiots out there that try to say that Naruto looks good all the way through. Just watch the final battle between Naruto and Pain. Yes, there are laser beams. Yes, there is Roadrunner leg movement with Pain. Yes, there's a scene where he goes to punch down and his face turns into this giant jelly blob thing as he punches. It has some of the worst animation I have ever seen. And I'm not just talking about modern day. I mean, it's got some of the worst ever. Like that stuff in the initial Dragon Ball, way back, we're talking before the 90s now. We're talking 80s time, had better animation in the 80s than that stuff that Naruto has. Now, in addition to that, with the anime, Naruto has gone ahead and they've stopped going with the whole, chunks. We're doing the canon and we're doing the filler. We have chunks of both. It'll be in filler for like maybe, a couple months, and then we'll come back to the initial story. They've moved away from that where they still do it at times. Yes, they do. But they've taken it a step worse, a step further, where they've taken the actual canon episodes and they've filled them. So they've added in additional nonsensical just BS that's happening throughout it. They've slowed the pace down to a ridiculous standpoint. And they've just added in all this clutter and junk that has taken the anime as an adaptation. I could do a whole video on this, but they've taken the anime as an adaptation and they've filled it with crap, and it's everywhere in Shippuden. The beginning of Shippuden was much better. As you go through it to modern day, it gets worse and worse to the point where you have characters, their bodies are not even filled in. You have these like summons and things like that, jitsu, abilities, where you just have these big block things that look like some kid with a scratch pad drew it. Big blob things and all this. It's horrendous, man. It is so bad, some of that. So we're going to stick to comparing the manga between the both, because if you're comparing the anime adaptation, there's no comparison unless they go through, they release a new version of Naruto and they clean up all the crap, they take out all the junk, they fix it, they fix the animation in scenes like when Pain is fighting against Naruto, which should be the most epic battle, one of the biggest battles in all of Naruto, and they screwed it up when it mattered. So in terms of the anime, if you guys want to see a rant video, me giving my thoughts on the inconsistency of Naruto, I can go ahead and do that for you. Just write in the comments below, let me know. But with regards to this conversation, what's the best of all time, we're gonna stay unbiased. We're gonna stick to the manga, the original creation, DB, Dragon Ball versus, because it wasn't called Z when you had the original manga, versus Naruto, not Shippuden or not, just Naruto, right? So in terms of the two, I mean, this is a tough one for me. Basically, this is how it went. Okay. At the start, of course, Dragon Ball, when Dragon Ball came out, Dragon Ball Z, when we all saw it, it just blew our freaking socks off. I became an addict to Dragon Ball Z. I became this kid at school that didn't even pay attention because all I wanted to do was just get home and watch DBZ. And if I didn't have it, if I didn't have the episode or whatever, I'd go to my friends who had satellite and I'd become like best friends with him. So I'd go to his house every time to watch DBZ. Every day there was a new episode. And that was what it was, man. The first time you go through Dragon Ball and you experience the whole thing, it is euphoric. It is, for people that like watching, superpowered fighting, this kind of thing, it's the best there is at what it does. Not a Wolverine reference. It is. It's the best, man. It's got the best fighting. It's got the best action. It's got great animation for its time. It's aged now. Yes, it is. But for its time, it has fantastic animation. So all the way through from beginning to end, Dragon Ball minus GT, the manga itself, just absolutely incredible. Epic as nothing we've seen before it. Just taking, any kind of like superpower anime manga, taking it to the next level, bringing us a universal platform and making it more epic than we could have initially anticipated when we started reading the initial Dragon Ball. Just epic to a new level. So there's Dragon Ball. At that time, for me, greatest of all time, no question. Then Naruto came out, and it was like, you ever play Street Fighter, and it's like, someone buys next to you in the arcade, a new challenger has entered the arena. So Naruto comes out, and a new challenger had entered the arena. And when it first started, I was like, wow, this is amazing, man. This could be better than Dragon Ball. It's possible. It could be. We have to wait and see, because of course it's young still, right? You got the Chunin exams and everything like that. And at the beginning, it's like, wow, this is just taking like everything else to another level. It's kind of like with all the different abilities they have and everything. It's sort of like a really, really good RPG, but even better and in a TV series form. So you have all these different abilities. You have characters that have like eye jitsu and just like, elemental jitsu, like dark and light. And man, it's just got some great combinations of some advanced abilities and things that Kishi was able to come up with. And a very diverse world. The jungles you see, the forest, I guess I should call it forest, not really jungles, forest, the hidden leaf, the sand, all the different locations we see throughout the series. It's got a very, very attractive universe. Really great stuff. I really, really enjoy it. So as it goes through, the initial Naruto ends and it's like, bravo, man, this is awesome, right? Aside from maybe sometimes there being a little bit too much exposition, aside from sometimes there being a few too many flashbacks, even still, man, hats off to Kishi. The initial part of Naruto, which we think of in the cartoon or anime version, would be just Naruto. Incredible stuff. Then we go on to the second part, or the time skip, and we have the Hurricane Chronicles. So when it started off, I was so into Naruto. I was pretty much convinced at that point it was going to take over. It was going to be the best anime. It was like DBZ, DB for a new generation, and in the end, this could end up being better than DBZ, DB. Okay, so as we go through it, you start off, and one thing about it too is that it doesn't feel as well organized as Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball has this really nice organization, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, whereas one arc ends, another one starts. Like you have the big villain arcs in DBZ, right? Naruto never really felt like that. You have villains that come in and out, villains in the background. You have Obito as Toby and everything, and that's great. You have Madara in there. You have all these different villains and groups and everything in different villages, and you have Sasuke, he's out there. You got Orochimaru, he's still out there. But it's kind of like disorganized. You have a Jiraiya part where, him against Pain, and it doesn't fit like into a nice arc type story, right? Now there's the Fourth Great Ninja War, which is a huge one. You have Naruto and Pain before that, and you have everything else that happens in between and in and around that. So Shippuden for me, this part starts off great. Starts off really, really strong. It gets its height for me when you have Naruto versus Pain. When Pain attacks the Leaf Village, and you feel for Naruto because, of course, Jiraiya was killed by this character. This villain killed him. That's, Naruto's master. That's his teacher, So what's going to happen now? That for me was like the most epic battle ever. The amount of powers that Pain had, how interesting it was to watch him fight, where you have, the 7 paths and everything, and they joint vision and how to fight him and different abilities and just everything about Village Hidden in the Rain. And it was epic. It was rivaling. It was getting close to that DBZ level of like universal epicness in terms of a fight, in terms of a battle. That's how epic that was. It was close. Then after that, we're getting to the Fourth Great Ninja War. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be, the best thing that we've ever seen, right? Or read. As we go through this, for me anyway, it starts, it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. It's still going. It keeps going. It's still going. You get the idea. It's still going. Like, what year is it? It's still going. Okay. Now, finally, I'm calling for it. I'm doing videos saying, man, he's got to wrap this up. He's got to wrap this up. And then, yes, finally, within the year, we find out it's ending. It's like, well, it's four more manga chapters left, and we're done. So, in terms of the Fourth Great Ninja War and how it finished up, it's like he wanted it to be the most epic thing ever, and he went for it in terms of the amount of battles and the amount of fights, but there's only so much you can take straight through with the same characters, with the same villains, with bringing back to life old villains, with all these things happening, and old characters, bringing them back to life, to the point where it's like, when is this going to end? This is going on far too long. Now, in Dragon Ball, the Buu saga, I felt like went on a little bit long too. But Naruto's Fourth Great Ninja War goes on way too long, and I mean way too long. So that said, when we went through it, it's like I kept wanting it to be the best ever. I kept wanting that Fourth Great Ninja War to deliver what the rest of the series had set up. And for me personally, due to the length, due to the amount of fights without any kind of break, no character development, just straight through until the end. In the end, he gave us some great character development, a great time skip with some awesome stuff. Naruto achieving his dream, which was very touching and amazing. But did it finish off to where I thought it was going to be in terms of epicness as we went through it? For me, no, it didn't. It was close, and at a point during the Pain arc, I was like, all we need is maybe, a little bit more of this kind of, this kind of thing, and you have yourself the greatest manga, and thereby anime, if it's faithful, of all time. Did it do it? Did Naruto in the end take over the number one spot as the GOAT of anime and manga for me? Versus, did it steal that title from Dragon Ball Z? Goku versus Naruto, who's got it? No, it didn't. It didn't. It was close, and it was like it's almost there. No. it's got to be Goku. I'm sorry. It's got to be. Dragon Ball. Okay, as cool as it was, Naruto did his thing. He finished up, and he was, in the end, it was a great ending. But in terms of the epicness of the anime or manga overall, the overall story, as intricate as it was and as interesting as it was way too drawn out at the end, and he just needed to wrap up a lot of these loose ends. Now, one big thing about it with me is he never really wrapped up the Sasuke and Naruto thing. I mean, yes, they kind of fought to a draw. Yes, in the end, it was a happy ending for everybody, and Naruto kind of won because he got his friend back, and this kind of thing. And yeah, okay, I'll give you that. That's fine. But he should have wrapped that up way sooner. I mean, years sooner. And in the end, that cooking and that delaying of those fights that we wanted to see, rather than just doing them and then moving on to something else. Okay, do this, move on. Just get over it. Let's move on from here. Where are we at, right? And he just didn't do that. So for me personally, the greatest of all time is, and maybe forever will be, I got to go with Goku. I got to go with Dragon Ball. I got to go with Dragon Ball Z. For me, this guy right here, this character is the ultimate anime manga hero. You can't get any more heroic than him. He doesn't get panic attacks when his friends decide to be assholes. He doesn't pass out in the snow because, his old buddy when he was a kid ended up to be a jerk. He strives forward and he stops evil regardless of what the situation is. He does what's right, doesn't matter who it is, and he stops them and he wins. And that for me is Goku. That's Dragon Ball. In the end, even though Naruto was close, at a time I thought it might take it as the best anime of all time. Nope. Not in the end. In the end, for me, Dragon Ball is the greatest. It's the greatest there ever has. The greatest ever. The greatest anime manga ever is still Dragon Ball. That's all there is to it. Even in the end, even though, Naruto, you finished off great. You were great in the end. Goku takes it. There's no question about it to me. Anyway, so that's all I really got to say about this one. One day, maybe in 10 or 20 years when I'm still making YouTube videos, will I do another video, maybe discussing another anime that comes out or something? Maybe. But right now, I don't see anything that could overtake DBZ, Dragon Ball, as the greatest of all time. I don't see anything. There's, Attack on Titan's pretty good. Some people like Fairy Tail. There's other anime and manga out there that's doing all right. Yeah, it's not doing too bad. Pokemon's always there, but, that's kind of a kid thing. That's always had its kid thing. It's not mature at all. You don't have character deaths or anything like that. So, so all in all, just to sum it up, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, greatest of all time, Akira Toriyama. Will his series ever be overtaken and be beaten or be bested? I don't know. Maybe not in our lifetime, to tell you the truth. Maybe not. Maybe not ever. I don't know. It was that epic, at least for me. And I grew up with both of these series. Some people might say, oh, you're just biased because you grew up with Dragon Ball. I grew up with Naruto, too. I started watching Naruto in grade 8 when I was in elementary school. Before I was even in high school, I started watching Naruto. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about that. Trev says Dragon Ball, greatest of all time, the champion, can't go wrong with it. Absolutely, it's got to be Goku, has to be Goku. Now, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your favorite anime or manga is of all time, which one you think is the best. It depends on your taste, too. Some people don't really like watching fighting shows. If you don't, you probably won't like either of these, that's for sure. So let me know what you guys think and which one wins for you, maybe if there are some Naruto fans out there. No hate against you. If it's your favorite of all time, do you think it's the greatest of all time? Awesome, cool. Write your reasons below. Why not? And if you like this video, do me a solid, please. Thumb it up below and, share it. If you have a Facebook or whatever, you want to share it with your buddies. Go ahead, tell them Dragon Ball Z is the greatest anime of all time. Dragon Ball is the greatest manga of all time. Here's why. Listen to Trev talk about it for, how long is this video going now? 20 minutes? I don't know. There's your proof. DB, greatest ever. Anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. Oh, subscribe if you're new. See you for the next one. Trev, same peace.